YouTube video when I get off air today. You know, we've talked about how the Ford Foundation and the government are trying to fund white supremacists, Mexican supremacist groups, black supremacist groups, so that we don't become Americans and love the Bill of Rights and Constitution and private property and freedom and the Second Amendment. No, so that we all just fight with each other over race. And I'm really concerned about Robert Rodriguez's new film, Machete, because the trailer came out and it looked like race war to me. And the white guys are the bad guys, and Robert De Niro's in it, and Jessica Alba, and all these people I've been fans of, and I've liked Robert Rodriguez, fellow Austinite. Well, I was contacted by members of his crew who are Hispanic, who are concerned that it's going to have a backlash against Hispanics. And now I've been sent the script. And here's the script for Machete by Robert Rodriguez, and it's worse than I even thought. So for Raw Story and others that admit they haven't even seen the trailer and are making fun of us, you're not. I guess you'll laugh at this, too. The Minutemen are all hacked up and killed with machetes. White people are the bad guys. The only good part about this film is a senator stages a terror attack against himself as a pretext to go after Hispanics. So I guess Robert Rodriguez has been given my films, I've been told. I guess he woke up to something here. It's just horrible, and it's just disgusting. Now, we're going back to Michael Bagnerick and then your phone calls, but I wanted to go back to Kagan, disappear free speech if the government deems it offensive. Here's another one. Law would empower Hillary to revoke citizenship of whoever she deems terrorist. That's citizens. And this World War II law was what was used for Italian and Japanese Americans. This is why they grabbed hundreds of thousands of Japanese and put them in forced labor camps. People who'd been here for 100-plus years, own their own seafood companies, their own manufacturing plants, Japanese doctors, total Americans. Well, they're now saying, oh, Adam Gadon, who's the grandson of one of the ADL board members, totally staged, folks. They've uploaded videos in the Intel Center's own logo with Al-Qaeda. It's all fake. This guy's an operative. To sell us this idea, I want to play this and get Michael Bagnerick's take on that. Then I want to go over this Texas census form and then your phone calls. But here is the CNN propaganda piece where they just report it calmly and nicely like it's going to keep you safe. We have to do this. We have to just get rid of the entire habeas corpus. It's in the Belligerence Act, racing through the Senate, where you just disappear. Bag goes over your head, you're gone. Here it is.
California-born Adam Gadon in an Al-Qaeda recruiting video.
I will now proceed to destroy my American passport.
But the Al-Qaeda operative on the FBI's most wanted terrorist list is still a U.S. citizen.
If we captured Gadon today, he could make a claim as an American citizen to be tried in a federal district court with all the rights of citizenship.
This bipartisan group wants to change that with legislation revoking the citizenship of Americans the State Department deems aligned with foreign terrorist organizations.
Now, what it actually does, and we've read the bill on air, we've printed it out and showed it to you. You can go read it. In fact, I'll give you the headline here from the article that Paul Watson wrote 2 months ago. We warned you 3 months ago, actually. You can go read it for yourself. Dissenters to be detained as enemy belligerents, March 8th, 2010. I guess it was 2 months ago. And you can go read it subsection by, no. They're not going to just say you're not a citizen. You're not going to get any due process under any law. Look how they're ordering Hatari released, and the feds have tried to strip them because it was all made up. They didn't threaten anything. They just said if the government attacks us, we'll have to defend ourselves. Let's finish the clip and get Bagnerick as a constitutional scholar's take on it. By the way, his website's constitutionpreservation.org, constitutionpreservation.org. Let's finish the clip.
If they've been identified through their actions or specific statements that they no longer want to be United States citizens, well, by golly, let's help them.
The bill would update a little-known World War II-era law still on the books, allowing the Secretary of State to revoke citizenship of Americans supporting foreign armies or states. Authors say their goal is not only to strip Americans like Adam Gadon of legal rights as U.S. citizens, but to thwart an Al-Qaeda strategy to train Americans with U.S. passports.
Recruit American citizens who can train overseas and then use their American passports to re-enter our country for the purpose of planning and carrying out.
If they knew they were a terrorist, you'd just arrest them. I mean, this is insane. Again, and what does Kagan say? It's your free speech. They want to arrest you. We have the Homeland Security MIAC reports. It's for veterans, returning veterans, gun owners. Continue.
Attacks against us.
Senator Joe Lieberman insists the bill is constitutional. Some legal experts disagree and call it dangerous.
The government has such a broad understanding of what it means to provide material support to terrorism these days that really the most innocent, benign activity could subject the most harmless Americans to this extreme sanction.
They're already using the Patriot Act tens of thousands of times for family violence, marijuana, you name it. Michael Bagnerick, I mean, they think we're so ignorant. Is this not 100% the opposite of our republic?
Absolutely. 180 degrees out from what we want. People need to understand that we have individual rights. And I hate the phrase constitutional rights because people get the idea that the Constitution gives you your rights and therefore Joe Lieberman and his friends can take those rights away from you. Your rights are inherent. You had the right to life before they signed the Declaration of Independence. You had freedom of speech before they ratified the First Amendment. And by God, you have a right to defend your life whether or not anybody in Washington, D.C. reads and understands the Second Amendment. Your rights are inherent. They cannot be taken away from you. But you have to remember Thomas Jefferson's words, you only have the rights that you are willing to fight for.
Well, let me add to that. Republicans supported the Patriot Act, even though Section 802 says it's for citizens. Now, we receive from law enforcement, it's been big national news for a year and a half, the government documents that this is really for us. Now, Homeland Security admits American citizens are the main terrorists they want to get. People that want to end the Fed, we're terrorists. Ron Paul's bad. We're all, Oath Keepers are seditious. That's Mother Jones. Arrest us all. So now a lot of conservative groups, have got the headline, Hillary can revoke your citizenship, and that's what they can do if they get this through. I mean, this is for us. Understand that Adam Gadon's a CIA operative just to cut out a Goldstein to scare you. I had another question for you. It came in on an email ticket for Michael Bagnerick. It says the 14th Amendment creates a second form of government, citizen, and turns us into federal citizens. If we do not correct our status back to the state nationals, we consent to be under the jurisdiction of the usurper, federal private government. Ask how he expects us to ignore the fact. So that's a question for you. I don't think you are ignoring this, but comment on it.
No, I'm not ignoring it. And I actually mentioned this. I go over it during my Constitution class. But you have to understand that the government lies, cheats, steals, and murders. They are ignoring the Constitution, which is the supreme law of the land. Sending them a certified letter is not going to change the way that they interact with you. I mean, you may be correct. I mean, legally and technically you may be correct, but the government is going to come and put a bag over your head and whisk you away anyway. So while I don't disagree with it, I think we've gone too far to try to fix this with letters to the editor or voting. We need to get hundreds of thousands of people together to rally to demonstrate that we outnumber them by several orders of magnitude.
And by the way, at the G20 last year, a lot of the peaceful protesters had bags put over their heads for hours, a form of deprivation, taking the power of sight away from you, trying to panic you so you're in the dark. All of these anti-terror weapons, microwave guns, torture, it's all now being used against us. They call it pain compliance. We have a rogue, out-of-control government, and I just never get how people send us emails accusing someone of covering something up when you can't cover the entire pantheon of reality in the world in a trillion hours, much less one. But I wanted to we constantly talk about the fact that this made us all wards of the state and discuss it.